Welcome to PR Squeeze, a production of the Newhouse School at Syracuse University, where we talk with leaders from across the public relations profession to see what we can learn. I'm Tony D'Angelo, chair of the PR department and a professor of practice, and I'm really excited to welcome two leaders from the PRSA Foundation, the philanthropic arm of the Public Relations Society of America. Its mission states the PRSA Foundation is committed to promoting diversity among public relations professionals and companies so that they can best serve the public good and address the needs of a diverse world. Here are two people leading that charge. First, the Foundation's 2025 president, Thomas Bennett. Thomas is a senior vice president at the global PR and communications agency Fleishman Hillard, and he's based in Dallas, Texas. He's a military veteran with over 24 years of experience and has been a PRSA member since 2018. Active in the Dallas PRSA chapter, he also served on the National Board of Directors from 2022 to 2024 before becoming PRSA Foundation president this year. Thomas was named to the PR Week Health Influencer 30 list in 2023. This recognition comprises some of the most prominent players influencing healthcare and pharma PR. The PRSA Foundation's current president-elect and therefore incoming 2026 president is Natan Edelsburg. He is the Chief Partnerships Officer at Muck Rack, the leading provider of AI-powered PR software built for how brands and agencies work. He's responsible for leading and cultivating industry partnerships and driving international expansion at Muck Rack. He joined the company in 2009 as its very first employee. I didn't know that. And since then, he has held several positions, including Chief Operating Officer, helping to build the business to its current stature. In addition to PRSA Foundation work, Natan serves as an adjunct professor at New York University and is a member of the board at FIBEP, the world's Media Intelligence Association. He also serves on the board of the Museum of Public Relations, and he's been honored as one of PR News' Rising Stars and one of PRSA's 15 Under 35. He's a frequent speaker and media commentator on public relations, social media, journalism, and the future of television. He's delivered multiple programs for such organizations as South by Southwest, PR Week, Social Media Week, PRSA, Reagan, and the Cannes Lions, among others. Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you for your leadership of the Foundation's important work. It's really great to have you on PR Squeeze. Let me kick things off by asking you what you would like the PR profession to know about the PRSA Foundation, both what it's doing now and its vision for the future. And let me start with you, Thomas, as the current president. What's going on right now?
Really great question, Tony and Agran. Great to be here, with you. I would say at this point, the PRSA Foundation is a really big kept secret within the PR and communications industry and profession. I say that specifically because we have a really great story to tell, right? We are hyper focused on, making the profession more diverse and inclusive than what it is, today. And that's by tackling the student, pipeline. We are really focused on providing scholarships, grants, and internship opportunities for diverse students pursuing a career in the PR and communications, profession. And so, although we've been around for quite a while, we have, in very honest transparency, we have a lot of PRSA members who still don't know about the foundation. So what does that mean for those who are non-members, right? So that's why I say it's kind of like the best kept secret at this point. But under, my leadership, other predecessors recently, and under Natan's, leadership next year, I have no doubt that we'll go from being an unkept secret to the point where a lot of more people know about the foundation and who we are and what we do. I'll kind of toss it over to Natan to kind of talk about the future of the foundation.
Thank you, Thomas. And yeah, I really loved what you said about the best kept secret. And It's been awesome to work with you this year as we've really kind of revamped the foundation to try and change that perception, including all the great work you just did at Icon to get the word out about it. But I think what we've always done really, really well that not everyone necessarily knows about is all the great work we've done with fellowships and scholarships for students. Um, we do about 200,000 a year in fellowships for students. That's driven through the amazing PRSA network. And it's really created this amazing niche for like internship programs, especially for mid-sized PR agencies who want to run effective summer internships from diverse backgrounds and also want support from our board of experts in our network to select great candidates. So that's probably like we've always done that really well, but we're really trying to get the word out about that more and make that an even bigger part of our future. So even if you're not as familiar with the foundation itself, we want the fellowship possibilities and scholarships to really be the de facto go-to place to run an effective and diverse internship program that will help kind of foster the future of the PR industry.
Great. Tell us a little bit about your funding sources. I'm familiar with your scholarships and fellowships. It's such important work, and the idea that you're meeting these students at the dawn of their careers just makes great sense strategically. So, how are you funding that?
Yeah, so I could take that first, Thomas. So there's a ton of different funders for it. I think the one that I want to shout out who's kind of really risen to the top is a great firm called Mission North. They specialize in tech and B2B, although they do many other things. They've not only been leaders in this scholarship, but they've recruited many other agencies under their Foster the Future program. So to date, they've raised roughly like $90,000 alone for the foundation through recruiting other agencies to do the fellowship. So those are our donors. It's kind of the agencies out there who don't necessarily have the massive infrastructure of like a giant firm to run an internship program and have the resources. And also, don't have the infrastructure that we as a 501c3 do to run fellowships and scholarships. So that's one example, but there's many other firms and donors. And Thomas, I don't know if you want to shout out anybody, but that's the one that really stands out.
Yeah, to Natan's, point, we have several different, funding, sources, right? At a very, high level, we can't do what we do unless we have the support of, different agencies, regardless of how large or how small they are, in addition to companies and organizations. We've had many companies, organizations, and agencies, this year who have stepped up to the plate to be sponsors. That's another source of where funds come from in sponsoring our different programs. We also have several individuals like the three of us here who either on a monthly basis or once during the year make a sizable donation to the foundation. And so I want to kind of give you a mix of the different sources of funding that kind of come into the foundation. But again, it comes from agencies, companies, organizations, but also from one-on-one individuals such as the three of us here.
Yeah, yeah. That's really interesting that you've to garner the agency support that you have, you're also supplying them with a recruiting infrastructure, basically. So that's great. And I'm sure they see the benefits of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely do, and it's not easy to run a fellowship or a scholarship from an operational perspective. There's lots of different implications, whether it's tax related or whatever it might be. So I think like we're really serving our purpose as a foundation for the industry, and we've not only that, but it's another recognition that for the PR industry to thrive, to recruit the next generation of leaders, you need to recruit from diverse backgrounds. However, you need to define that for your business. And I think the other really great thing to see especially in the age of generative AI, is that we don't see entry-level hiring slowing at all amongst our group. In fact, we see the number of fellowships continue to grow, and we have ambitious revenue targets for our fundraising for those. And I think that's testament to the fact that this next generation of leaders is going to thrive in the industry, learn how to use technology to improve it. But I think it kind of shines a bright light on some of the doom and gloom out there around job creation and layoffs that we're seeing right now. So it's a really positive light, and it's inspiring for all of us on the board.
Well, my students will be happy and relieved to hear that message. They're rather nervous right now, as you can well imagine.
Yep.
Earlier this year, I know that PRSA doubled down on its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. And I'd like to ask, from a PRSA Foundation perspective, how has that commitment impacted the organization, given your overall purpose and mission?
Yeah, I'll take that first, and then Natan, if you could build upon that, that would be great. I think it's a really great thing for DNI is a really great thing for not only our organizations from a PRSA or PRSA Foundation perspective, but for the industry and profession as a whole. The more diverse we are, the more inclusive we are. Everyone wants a place to where they feel that they, belong, right? No matter what lens of diversity that you're coming from, gender, race, culture, ethnicity. There are lenses of diversity that you can't see about people, such as, myself. You wouldn't know that I was diagnosed with ADHD until I just told you, right? And that's the lens of diversity that I bring to my job, even working at an agency and to the foundation. So my point is that it was great to see PRSA double down on its commitment to DE&I. And the reason that is important to what we do from a foundation perspective is because we're focused on making the profession more diverse and inclusive than what it is today, starting with the next generation of PR and communications, professionals who are going through curriculum and even going through, Syracuse University, right now. I've had the opportunity to speak over the course of, this year and last year to students at Morgan State University, University of Alabama, and BYU, and FAMU. And there hasn't been a time that this question of, D&I has been asked, to me about what it means and what it means to our profession and its importance. And to me, that says that even at the student level, students are aware of D&I, but also why it's important and how they can add value to it, even if they're an ally as well. Natan, your thoughts?
I agree with what you said. I think you're totally right. And I think ultimately what we've focused on is what we've always done. I think what we do really well is helping companies through these fellowships and other means accomplish business goals that they want to with their hiring needs and growing their teams. And I think the resilience of this program is just proof that it's not just people trying to do good by recruiting in this way, but it's because it's good for business. So I think that's what we're focused on, just continuing to do good work and recognizing that the more new voices, new experiences, new economic backgrounds, all different kinds of diversity and belonging, like Thomas mentioned, are reflected within the PR industry, the better work is going to be for clients and teams. So I think that's what we're just aligned with. And I think the proof is, like we said, the programs are growing. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of a tricky environment right now, and I think the fact that that's the case makes us even more valuable as a vehicle to continue to do hiring that's good for your business. So that's what we're super proud of.
And deservedly so. I mean, if you look at the industry, I think you could make the argument that, especially for public relations, DEI is a professional imperative. I mean, if we are going to represent organizations to diverse publics and diverse publics to organizations, we have to be committed to it. So thank you for your constancy and your ongoing commitment to that. It's really, really valued.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about sort of the ecosystem of other communications associations that support DEI. How does the PRSA Foundation collaborate with other mission-driven organizations like the Diversity Action Alliance, the LeGrant Foundation, and others?
Yeah, thanks for that question, Tony. Each one is very, mission driven, right? And I say that from a central point of, DE&I. Although we operate independently and somewhat have somewhat of the same, goals and objectives, we try to find, central opportunities to, partner, with organizations, like the Diversity Action Alliance and others. So a good example of that this year is that this year I've had the opportunity to be a representative to sit on the Diversity Action Alliance, board representing the PRSA, Foundation. I do the similar, thing on the CPRE organization as well, just representing the foundation from that perspective. And so whenever there's an opportunity that makes sense and where there's alignment between our organization and a respective organization, like the Diversity Action Alliance, it makes sense, right? And so we try to find those opportunities and also openly stay in communication with some of the leaders of these other industry organizations as well, because we don't compete, right? Because we're mission driven and hyper focused on being able to get the word out about the lack of diversity within our profession, but also giving opportunities to well deserved students who are pursuing a career in the PR and communications profession who may not otherwise have the opportunity, resources, or programming in order to get into the profession.
That's great. It's wonderful to hear of that collaboration because it strikes me, knowing the leadership of those various organizations, there are shared values, there are shared objectives, and so that kind of collaboration makes a lot of sense. Let me ask you in closing, what's coming down the pike?
Well, I'll touch on maybe one or two, themes, and then toss it to Natan to build, upon it. We have a lot of great energy going into, next year with Natan being the president for 2026. Just this year, we started what we called a PR and Communications Student Summit, which we're hosting on the campus of alternating every other year between an HBCU, a PWI, and a Hispanic serving institution. Just this year in September, we hosted for the first time this PR and Communications Summit at Morgan State University, which is a HBCU in the Baltimore, Maryland area. It was very well received, by the faculty, but also very well attended by the students. And the purpose of doing this summit is to not only create more awareness around diversity and inclusion, but to increase more awareness about the foundation, who we are and what we do, so these students can become aware of the scholarships, grants, and internship opportunities that are available through the foundation. But also it gives them an opportunity to network with some of our board members and people that we bring in to talk about the PR and Communications, Summit. Although I can't announce, here, we also already have a confirmed college and university who will host the PR and Communications Summit, next year on their, campus. And so this is something that we're committed to doing, each year, again, alternating between an HBCU, a PWI, and a Hispanic serving, institution. And so I'll kind of toss it to Natan to kind of give a sense of, what to look forward to in 2026 and ahead.
Thanks, and yeah, so excited about the student summits continuing. Morgan State this fall in Baltimore was really special and exciting when we went there for our first one. So yeah, I think we're going to continue to build on the great groundwork that we've laid this year under Thomas's leadership, and we want to really focus and double down on the scholarship and fellowship efforts. We have a really good momentum there. We've seen it be the number one place that our fundraising has been increasing. So we want to really do a better job reaching out nationally and potentially even internationally to mid-size agencies that either have a PR internship program, want a PR internship program, um, or just want to improve their internship program. And we want to be a vehicle to do that. We want our board already reviews the applications every year, so you have an amazing group of experts that check all the candidates. But we also want to get more involved over the summer when most of the programs happen to help the students however we can in this interesting environment that we're in a number of different ways. So that's the big focus, and then building our relationship with PRSA National, who we're obviously closely tied together with. One of our board members, also Stephen Chavez, is going to be serving as the DE&I committee chair for PRSA National. So that's going to be another great collaboration opportunity and synergy. And so ultimately, we want to keep building on the work and not bite off more than we could chew at the same time. So that's what we have to look forward to in 2026.
Well, it's absolutely great. It's actually inspiring to hear about the energy that you've committed to this and the momentum that you've generated. Thomas Bennett, Natan Edelsburg, thank you so much for your leadership of the PRSA Foundation. And to our audience, I hope you've enjoyed this conversation as much as I have and found that this information has been worth the PR squeeze.